This podcast is brought to you by lineupmedia.fm.
All right, guys, check it out. The time is now to get on board with some sports betting, and you got to do it with our sponsor, betdsi.com. They've been in business for over 20 years, one of the top-rated businesses, and it's safe to play there. Use our code ANIMALS10. They're going to double your initial deposit plus a free $10. It's easy to use, and they have great customer service. Fastest payments of winnings, and like I said, it's a 100% bonus on your first deposit. Thousands of wagers, NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA. You can even vote on who's going to win the presidential election. You know it's hilarious. Get in there. And again, make sure you check your local laws and regulations before you do so. One more time, check it out. It's betdsi.com. All right, guys, welcome back to American Animals. You're hanging out with Erik Apple and Ian McCall.
What up?
That is the number 2, AmericanAnimals.com. That's 2 American Animals on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Make sure you find us, follow us, like everything you see on there, and you're going to see some great clips from people like the man of the hour, who we got on the show tonight, none other than Mr. Bill Goldberg. Bill, thank you so much for coming on with us tonight.
Thank you very much. Very excited.
You know, man, anything for you two gentlemen. It is an honor and a privilege to be in your presence, even on the phones.
Well, we were just joking. You're actually you are our first and only guest that we ever had that called in on the phone. So, man, we must really like you.
Yeah, you're from the mountain.
Man, time is of the essence right now, and I think you guys know that. So I got to stay close to home.
Okay, so let's cut to the obvious. Okay, so this week, Monday night, you were on Monday Night Raw. It's kind of been hinted at a little bit. You answered the call to Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar, and you are coming back, and you're going to take on Brock Lesnar. Is it Survivor Series you're going to be at?
Man, I don't know when or where. I just know that I'm waiting for that phone call and assuming it's going to be tomorrow. You know, my pessimistic way of looking at things, I have a very short time window as it is, and I'm just assuming that it's drawing closer by the second. So I have no clue as to when it is, but, man, I just got to be ready. You know that.
Well, we know that you are in the gym, your gym at your house at the moment right now, lifting while talking to us. We're glad you're fitting us in.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, man, you kidding me? You guys, it's the opportunity to take a break. That's all I've been doing between eating, going to the bathroom, training, and going to the bathroom, and then eating, and then sleeping, and then going to the bathroom and training again.
I want to know, Bill.
It's a nice break.
Now, Bill and I, for people who don't know, Bill and I kind of have a long relationship. We hosted a lot of fights together, and he's been kind enough to open up his home and his family's home to myself. And I've spent a lot of time with Bill, so I do know a lot about Bill's background and things that most people don't know. And I do know one thing. You told me you used to set an alarm to wake up in the middle of the night and eat and have protein shakes. Are you still doing the same thing?
You know, unfortunately, I don't have to anymore because I don't sleep. So it gives me something to do when I'm walking around. The house.
That's what happens when you're old. You know, you don't sleep.
Yeah, that's what they say. I mean, I guess it's true. You know, what the hell? I am old, so it's proof's in the pudding.
I mean, you're working out twice a day, correct?
At least
3 times, man.
Wow.
3 days a week. The problem here. It's a huge conundrum, man. I'm trying to gain weight and I'm trying to get in shape and get big and strong and fast and effective and all those things at the same time. Doing one of them is pretty easy. If I want to get big, I can just eat as much as humanly possible and lift heavy weights that my joints can handle. But man, I got to be in shape. I got to be able to run around that ring and do the things that I haven't done in 12 years. I mean, it's a totally different cardio. But I figured that if I cross train the way that I'm doing, I'm going to be prepared for anything because, as I've stated in a number of interviews as of late, I've suddenly figured this thing called cardio out, which I never even knew of when I played football or anything like that. So, but I also have found out that the skinnier you are, the more stuff hurts. So it's a balance, man. I don't want to go in there at like 230, but then again, I don't want to go in there, overly weighted down to where I can't move, So.
Well, when you have that weight on,
balance.
When you have the weight on, that's some padding when you bounce, right?
Yes. Now, how's the recovery going?
Exactly.
Being a pro athlete myself, recovery is such a big part of my day and my regimen. I make sure I recover with cryotherapy and the Wim Hof method for breathing, cold therapy, saunas, all this different stuff, massages for all kinds of physical therapy. Are you doing any stuff like that?
Man, King Mo's called me, and Barnett's called me, and the Shamrocks called me, and all these people have called me and told me to do all this stuff. But I'm trying to cram. If it's not in close proximity to where I am, if I got to go up to LA and do it, it's just tough for me to do all this stuff, do all the training, man. And then at the same time, I'm making my son's lunch and picking him up and taking him to Muay Thai 3 days a week. So it's just a balance, bros. That's why you guys got to come down and train with me. It sucks, but I got to farm guys. I got to farm guys in from everywhere. Robert Oberst is coming down. Josh Barnett's coming down. CT Fletcher's coming down. Man, I got a whole freaking array of people, and it's just scheduling them in and trying to get that balance. Like I say, Razor's coming down on Tuesday. Hopefully, you guys come down shortly thereafter, or come down with him. And, when I'm doing that stuff, I'm burning calories. And then when I'm not burning them, I got to replenish them and then add more. And it's just tough on you. The older you get, I used to put on weight by eating 3 bacon double cheeseburgers before I went to bed, and I'd wake up shredded. But you just can't do that anymore, man. So. Yeah,
it's like usually you got to do one or the other. You're either getting bigger or you're getting in shape, but they're not the same.
Those two don't go hand in hand.
Exactly.
Now,
well, you know what? I'm actually accomplishing it because I'm supplementing my diets, with the right food. And man, I'm drinking from 6 to 8 shakes a day, dudes. And I mean, I'm probably throwing in 15 to 20,000 calories a day. I'm just trying to, and I'm burning the hell out of it. So it's just tough. It's a tough deal, but it's fun, man. It gives me something to do.
Well, okay, so let's back out a little bit for people who aren't, let's not talk about the technical stuff. Let's kind of back out a little bit, and because there's so many WWE and professional wrestling fans in general who want to know, after I believe it's been 12 years, what has motivated Bill Goldberg to leave come out from hanging out with his family, just being a husband and a dad, to come back to the world of professional wrestling and accept this challenge from Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar?
You know what? When I was 290, I didn't say these things to the press because it was corny, and the Terminator wasn't supposed to have feelings. But going around the country doing the 2K promotion, starting in January of this year. Going around the world, I told you, dude, I've eloquated to you how cool it was to be Goldberg again. And I'm a Goldberg every day at the house, even though neither one of my family members respect me very much. But, at the end of the day, man, you guys know you're superstars. When you can look at a kid at a children's hospital and he looks at you like you're God in some way, shape, or form, whether it be from athletics or from being an actor or whatever the hell it is, that is a gift that, if you're given it once in your lifetime and you can share it with somebody, that's the coolest thing in the world. And man, I've been given it so many times, dude, by playing football at Georgia, by playing in the NFL, by being Goldberg in the WCW and the WWE, and 12 years removed, I'm able to have that opportunity again. The conundrum is that, I risk my legacy. I risk going in the ring at 250. I risk, not being able to do the things that I could before. I risk, showing a new generation a weak and frail Goldberg in comparison. But, it's my job to come back 1,000 times better than I was before, just reinvent myself in a different way. And the one thing that I didn't touch on, which is the most important thing, is that, I did this for my son, man.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say next.
Gage, man, if he listens to anything that I say, I'm having a great day. And if I can put him on the front row and give him the opportunity to be backstage for hour upon hour and hang out with these guys and see how cool it is, as a kid, then it's my duty to put myself on the line and sacrifice the things that I have to sacrifice, whether it be my diet, my regimen, my training, getting my ass kicked by Simon Marcus, going to Ludwig's gym, whatever the hell it may be, you guys choking me out and trying to paint my toenails, whatever you want to do. I gotta do what I gotta do, because you know what? At 49 years old, like Couture and George Foreman did, and Hopkins and, I gotta try to carry it on. And I don't know of a power wrestler that 12 years removed from retiring came back and was able to dominate people like I'm going to do. And, that's what I do. And I got to turn back into that guy, and the guy hasn't left. You guys know me. I'm always going to be that guy. It's just the physical limitations of age that prevent you and the opportunity for being that guy. I've got the opportunity, and I'm fighting the limitations of age. So kiss my ass, both of them, and I'm going for it. That's all I can say.
Well put.
That was awesome. So I noticed a couple things in there, and it made me think of some other things about your past and your family. The one thing that stood out to me is you said, if I want to kick some people's ass. So are you saying that there could be more than one match in the future for Bill Goldberg, and this might not just be one final goodbye? There might be more in the future. Are you ruling it out?
No, that's habit. That's habit.
Okay.
This is my last deal, man.
Okay.
I'm gonna lay a good ass kicking on Brock, and I'm gonna ride off into the sunset.
Somebody needs to.
So one thing I was thinking about is, and I've been with you to see kids in hospitals. I've been with you to visit kids in who've been locked up, kids that were in juvenile detention before. I've been with you to visit some troops, both Army bases, National Guard, and we've also visited some sailors in the Navy together. So I know you do a lot of charity type stuff and a lot of goodwill stuff in general. And I know you have, the kids matter so much to you. And I wonder if helping people if that comes from your father, because I understand your father went to Harvard and your dad was a doctor, which is something you never told me.
Yeah, he went to Hopkins and went to Harvard, and he played lacrosse at Hopkins, and then he played football at Oklahoma. And he was a Navy, he was a flight surgeon and in the Navy. And yeah, there's a lot of things that my mom was a concert violinist.
Yeah, but
when Chicago Philharmonic, it's a weird deal.
So what I'm asking though is like the fact that your dad, learned to become a surgeon and he was a doctor, and basically he's there to help people whether they're in the military or not. Do you think that you gained a lot of that feeling as far as goodwill towards people and children especially?
You know what? At the end of the day, it started a long time before my father. I think we're lucky enough, and I'm not saying this to be a cocky ass, but I'm an alpha, man, and I'm lucky enough to have the genes to care about people and try to change the world in a positive way. And it started, well before my father, but he very much instilled it in myself and my brothers and my sister. And my mom had a lot to do with it. And, I think him caring for people at 2:00 in the morning when he gets a phone call rushing to the hospital, that has something to do with it.
I mean,
he always instilled those things in us.
There's no way around it, Bill. Somebody who gets up and does that kind of stuff or puts themselves on the line or spends their life dedicating themselves to helping other people. I mean, there's no way around it. That's an admirable thing.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. He surely didn't do it for the money, not back in those days. He did it it was a badge of honor for him. And, the fact that he slipped up and was the doctor of some of my girlfriends, that was an interesting deal. As a couple of girlfriends would sit in his office and they'd turn around and they'd put two and two together and see my picture on his mantle. So,
whoa.
Yeah, he was an OBGYN, by the way.
That's amazing. Hey, he's helping America. Yeah. Make America great again.
Yes, make America great again once again, please.
Absolutely.
So now, Bill, you get to really show yourself to a new generation of kids that, maybe some weren't even alive when you were wrestling. Some they're still kids. They're your son's age, or they're right outside. They're just freshly teenagers. You get to show them what the legend is of Bill Goldberg. And how do you feel about having to getting that opportunity to kind of do that to a whole different generation that's only heard the rumors or heard the fairy tale of what you did in the past?
I love how you so eloquently put that I'm so old, but the fact is that it's a risk, bro. You guys know it. Think about it. You guys retire from MMA and you come back 10 years later, and people think that you're the same person that you were when you left, or you're crazy that you're doing it. And I have very strong motives for doing it, but I'm not crazy. Well, I am crazy. That's why I'm doing it. But why not, dude? It's not like I've been sitting on the freaking couch eating bonbons for 12 years. I've been punched in the head and kicked in the head, and Erik, you've been doing it for years, and I haven't had the pleasure of you doing it lately, but I hope that you come down and do it as much as possible.
We'll come down next
Of
week for
course.
sure. Yeah. So for people who don't know, Bill is a partner in a legitimate, serious Muay Thai gym at Oceanside called is it Power Muay Thai? Extreme Power Muay Thai.
Yeah, extreme power.
That's right. So it's funny because people, they try to pigeonhole you, and I have to tell people, no, like Bill's a legitimate Muay Thai. Like he knows what he's doing. Like he's been doing it a long time, and he has knowledge of Muay Thai. And then that takes me into the next kind of little segment. I know that you really enjoyed. I mean, you announced for WFA, you announced for Elite XC, where I was able to fight, and Shark Fights. I want to know. So long ago, when you broke into professional wrestling, you were so ahead of the curve with using sort of the MMA theme with who you were. I mean, where did that come from?
There's a dude that named Obaki. Yeah, that's the name that he fought by. He fought by King of the Cage.
Yep.
Can't remember his name. But Dennis Donifre, or I can't remember his name.
Obaki was a real short, stocky white guy, right?
Tim Catalfo, yeah.
Yep, I remember him.
Timmy and I, unfortunately, first of all, in a positive way, the Muay Thai practitioner Manu.
Yep.
Manu was our Muay Thai guy at the school, and Tim taught the wrestling, grappling, and it was a 35,000 square foot facility back when the UFC just broke out. I was a big enough fan, and I fortunately at that time, broke into the wrestling business, and that was my dream at the time, was to have the largest gym, to train at home, to have the best of the best. I mean, Couture and the guys, Fry and, Randall, and those guys are training at my gym when, unfortunately, they didn't have a pot to piss in because the purses in MMA were very poor. That's why I chose to go into professional wrestling, because MMA wasn't even considerable because the purses were ridiculous comparatively. Now obviously it's quite changed, but it wasn't even an option back then. But it was a great place for me to train. I was a huge, I was a football player, man, and I couldn't. When I had to make a decision after I retired from football because of an injury, I was between a rock and a hard place because I'd worked on my body for so long, and I was 290, and I was pretty jacked, man, and I had run across these wrestlers for year upon year upon year, and unfortunately, there was a gentleman's club or 500 that I may have frequented, and there were some people in there that were valets of other people, if you know what I mean, and I kind of got associated with the people. And you know what? At the end of the day, between a rock and a hard place, I looked myself in the mirror and I said, you know what? If you come up with a good gimmick to where people don't think you're ridiculous, then you can look yourself in the mirror and have something good. And you can use it for what football didn't give you. And I was able to be in the right place at the right time. And I watched UFA tapes. I watched, Pancrase tapes, man. I watched UWF. I watched everything over in Japan back in the day. And I developed these moves that were real moves, but I put a little twist on them. Or I took the real move and did it to where it wouldn't hurt people. Oleg Taktarov.
Yep.
Yes.
I took a lot of Sambo stuff from him. He was represented by my agent, Barry Bloom, at the time, and I met him, back in the embryonic days of Pride when I used to go to the parties in L.A., I knew all those guys back in the day, man, and I just took stuff that they were doing. Dan the Beast Severn, I used to love watching him. Well, when I jump up after spearing people, I do his deal with his hands.
Yep.
And I was fortunate enough to have lunch with him here in town. I was telling Gage the story. You guys will love this. Gage is like 4 years old, and I'm having lunch with Dan, and Gage is, while I'm locking eye to eye with Dan and talking, Gage is stealing the food off of Dan's plate and eating it. It was hilarious, man. It was just hilarious.
Well, he's definitely not adopted.
Oh, man. Yeah, thank you.
You can be sure he's your kid. Hey, we're going to come back. Go ahead. No, we're going to come. I'm
just saying, if I did the wrestling thing, I had to do something realistic. And my love was the martial arts, because I did it for football, and I wanted to do it, at that time because I had more time. And that was the way that I could cross the bridge and mold the two and be able to look myself in the mirror.
Okay, that's it. Well, you're definitely the last person I could ever imagine that would have a gimmick that was not believable or realistic. Because I don't think you could live with yourself doing that for sure. We're gonna come back in just a moment. We're gonna hear a song from DMX, who is actually coming back on the Bad Boy reunion tour. I don't know if you guys heard about this. They got Puff Daddy, DMX, Nas, all the old school guys are actually going on tour. It actually sounds like it could be pretty fun.
Go. Let's do it.
We're gonna be back here with more from the incredible and the returning Bill Goldberg after some DMX. Okay, we're just going to keep going, Bill.
Yeah.
All right, guys, welcome back to American Animals. You're hanging out with Ian McCall. You're hanging out with Erik Apple, but most importantly, you're hanging out with the man of the hour, Bill Goldberg. Bill, thanks for hanging out with us still. We got some more stuff to cover with you, if that's okay.
You got it, guys. It's a pleasure,
Bill, you mentioned a name earlier. You mentioned Manu. It's funny. I was actually in touch with Manu recently. I sent. I don't know if I doubt you know the rapper YG, but YG was looking for a kickboxing coach while he was in Atlanta. He was recording in Atlanta, and I was like, "Oh, we are sponsored. I'm sponsored by Perps, which is a drink." And I happened to see him there, and he's like, "Oh, I mean, I'm going to be recording in Atlanta. Do you know anyone out there? You're a fighter, right?" So,
you saw YG at Perps?
Yeah.
That's kind of random.
I know. I make friends with random people. But so I set him up with Manu, and Manu out in Atlanta at his gym. I mean, if people don't know, Manu is an incredible kickboxing coach. I mean, he's a former world champion. I mean, people really don't understand the depth of knowledge that you have for martial arts. I mean, you were looking to kickbox for glory at one point, weren't you?
Yeah, man. You know, I really wanted to. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to step in there with Rico and think that I can do something. But as an exhibition, I thought it would be fun, man. You know, I truly did. But the reality of the paycheck that I would get for risking my legacy at something as random, not random, but as something as different than professional wrestling as that, it did not compare by any stretch of the imagination to what I was looking for. So we parted ways, and I went and rode off into the sunset, and look where I ended up.
Well, I think Bill is one of those people who experiences something that very few athletes do, and it's not a positive thing. The problem is when you have such a great record or such an image where you don't lose, you have so much to risk that doing anything is like, man, like, well, how much am I getting paid, and is it worth the risk? Because everything you're like, man, like, I don't want to ruin all these years of work I've put out. I don't want to tarnish it by going out and doing something stupid, and then everyone goes, oh, look, he's terrible.
Yeah, I look like an asshole doing something I'm not that good at comparatively to me being perfect at something else.
And it's not even just it's not even just with kickboxing. It's even coming back, Bill, against Brock Lesnar. Like, people have such high expectations out of you. This is, Brock Lesnar is a legitimate competitor that is capable of beating anyone on the planet on the right day.
Yeah, I'm Goldberg, dude. You know that. Give me a freaking break. I mean, come on. You lock me in the cell and give me the guys that you're throwing at me, including yourselves. And, Brock may be having, I don't know what Brock's doing. Brock probably doesn't even care what I'm doing. He could care less. He's going to show up and he thinks he's going to eat somebody. And, I'm not the guy I was 12 years ago, but I'm not the guy I was 12 years ago.
Well, the point I'm trying to make is that you have more pressure because of the accomplishments and the accolades you have accomplished over the years. Anything you take part in is somewhat of a risk. So you have to think about things. Just like this comeback, right? You said, well, is it worth it, the risk? Do I want to come back? Do I want to take a chance? Is the money worth it? Or do I want to just ride off the sunset being the man that I am?
Well, what are you saying? Are you saying did they pay me enough for me to just ride off into the sunset? And
No. I'm saying that you're experiencing things that other athletes don't really understand because you have such a great record and such a great image that people expect the world out of you.
Absolutely. And you know what? Here's you know what? It's like going to the end of a 5-meter, platform and not looking to see if there's water in. But I'm willing to take that risk, dude, because nobody's done it. Because, the kids need a hero. And nowadays, there's not enough of them out there. I don't want to be redundant and be corny, but there's not, man. And if it can boost my level back to being Goldberg again, to be on TV a couple times and being that guy to the kids, then, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to take that risk. And, hey, man, you know me in preparation. I hold myself in such high standards.
Nobody's going to judge you as hard as you will.
Not in such high standards. I hold myself to such high standards that, I'll stay up 24 hours a day and work as hard as I can until I get that call to see when it is. And then I'll work twice as hard until that day comes. But, the question is it physically or humanly possible, for that to happen? Against a guy like Brock. But you know what, man, 50% of me is 90% better than 100% of the people on the planet. So,
well,
that is an amazing outlook.
Ian just got out an abacus, just so you know.
Yeah, I didn't. I flew that off the top of my fingers, man.
Well, I mean, I said this before about you. Nobody
kiss my abacus.
Nobody is as hard on you as you are. Nobody expects more out of Bill Goldberg than Bill Goldberg, and that's and maybe that's why you've had the success, in football, in movies, and in wrestling, because you expect so much out of yourself that you don't let up at good enough. You want to go to the top.
Well, you know what? Here's the deal. Also, man, is I'll be corny again, but I'll be honest and I'll be a man about it.
It's okay.
And I'm going to open up and tell you, because the fact is, it's a tough deal, man, but it's worth it for the boy. It is. It's worth it. It's worth it. I can do it. I'm going to put the pressure on myself. If I can't reach the level that I need, then I'm going to reach the level that I can do. And the unfortunate part in being that guy my entire life, what I was trying to get at, was that you push so hard that you never enjoy it. And this time around, I wanted to try to enjoy it because I have someone to enjoy it with. I never enjoyed it by myself because it was a job, because I looked at it a different way, because I wasn't happy when I went there because of the politics or because of this or because of that. Now I'm not. I can't be selfish. I have the opportunity to share with a 10-year-old boy and a wife who's never seen me perform the opportunity to sit on that stage and do it. And the other night I did that. It wasn't planned for me to point him out in the crowd, but that was my opportunity. I could get hit by a bus tomorrow, and I accomplished. And I'm a good father in one respect, in that I sacrificed myself for my family so that they could experience what I have fortunately had the opportunity to experience a number of times.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Now, as a father myself, Bill, and obviously my daughter's only 5, but hearing you say those words, it's amazing, because I feel exactly what you're saying, and to be able to show your child, something they've never seen before, especially out of a son out of his dad. He gets to see his dad be a man and be this legendary thing that everyone has always told him about. You get a chance to go back and show your son that the little creature you created that is all you, and you get to show him the best version of you ever. I mean, that is just one of the coolest things I've ever heard. I can't wait to see it.
I appreciate it, man. I greatly appreciate your kind words and the best of me ever, but I'm going to be the best of me that I can be where I am right now, and I can guarantee you that, and hopefully that's enough.
Bill,
hopefully that's enough, So
I want to know what were Gage and Wanda's reaction after the other night? Like, what did they say? I mean, how thrilled were they?
Saw it. She started crying on TV.
Yeah, it looked like
he did the dab, and I wanted to cut his head off. But,
I saw him do that on the jet you guys took to Denver too. He did the dab in the video, and Bill turned around and was like, "What the fuck?"
Here's a good story for you. Here's a good story. Through my website, the guy that represents the band out of Atlanta that invented, quote unquote, the dab, he wants to know if I want to hook them up with Gage. So it's even worse now.
Oh my God! Are you serious?
I swear to God,
you better
my witness.
You didn't tell Gage, did you? Because he'll never forgive you.
I showed him. I showed him. I made him read.
Wait.
I gotta experience that with him, man. It's too funny. So, I'm the guy who
makes his
kid wear his baseball helmet in the grocery store because I want to
embarrass. Bill loves embarrassing his kid for sure. Bill, tell us real quick. What is your website? Just BillGoldberg.com?
But yeah, Bill Goldberg.
And as far as social media,
all that stuff.
As far as social media, Twitter's really the only one that you really you go back and forth with your fans, right?
Oh, Instagram, man. Instagram's turning out to be something different because people like to see stuff, man. Twitter, both. I try to interact as much as I can. Right now, I'm trying to show some training and, just trying to interact with the people and get them an inside look at what's going on. I don't know if what I do is cool. I mean, even though I do some things with you out, at the lagoon, and we take pictures and put them on Periscope, and people seem to like those. So I'll continue to do that. You and Creepy come down, and we'll put some more social media stuff out.
Okay, so for people who don't know, if you aren't already following Bill on Twitter, it's at Goldberg, Goldberg, and on Instagram, it's Goldberg with a number, right? Goldberg 95.
Yeah, Goldberg 95.
Oh, I remembered it by heart. Wow, I must really like you. I don't even know.
We must be friends.
You love me. You don't like me. You love me.
I don't even know my girlfriend's, but I remembered yours.
Okay. And Eric Apple would admit that on the air just to show how cool he is.
Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. Bill, I want to know, let's change the subject a little bit. I want to talk about something that I know is so near and dear to your heart. I want to put a smile on your face. Bill, what's your newest car, or what's the next car you're getting?
Please.
Now, just so you know, Ian, I've gotten the fucking tour.
I know, and
I got the tour of the vehicles.
I'm waiting to get the tour.
It's like a 2-hour deal.
Yeah, I was born and raised a car guy, so I'm just this is in my blood.
Man, I couldn't be selfish, so I bought Wanda an Escalade the other day, a brand new one, and that thing's like a spaceship.
Oh, they're amazing.
Wait, is that the black? I've seen the black one, right?
No.
Another new one?
I kicked that one.
Oh, okay.
She's had that thing. Dude, she's stayed with me so long. That thing had 160,000 miles on it. She was time for her to get a brand new car. So she deserves that putting up with me.
So Bill drives around a 1997 Dodge truck with about 300 billion miles on it.
Hey. No, it's a 99, and there's a company, Atomic Off-Road, that's taking it next week, and they're just completely decking it out from top to bottom so you can kiss my ass.
No, I wasn't making fun of you.
And I'm buying a new Porsche probably next week.
Which
so
one?
You can kiss
What Porsche are you going to fit into? You're not going to fit in a Porsche?
Unfortunately, I think the ugly, bulbous one.
Are they going to take
Panamera?
Are they going to take the front seat out and have you sit in the back like Too Tall Jones did in Police Academy?
I drive my 92 turbo every day. I can fit in the GT3. I can fit in whatever I want. Porsche, here's a good story. I bought a Ferrari in Beverly Hills, and I liked the Porsche, and I couldn't decide. At the end, I bought the Ferrari. 2 days later, the Porsche shows up at my house. Because the guy says, "Oh, just drive it because you might like it." Well, I ended up buying that one too. Remember, and I sold that one to Jesse James. But the Porsche, dude, has a lot of room.
The Porsche it's a way better car.
Well, there's no question. Absolutely,
you can't go wrong with the Porsche. So let's talk about the Jeep that you built over last winter for Wanda. Is that thing still doing great? Tell Ian about the Jeep.
Yeah. It's a 46.5 CJ2A, man. It's a Willys, man. It's bitchin'.
It's a full Willys, like military style Jeep.
Who did it for you? Who did the
He
rebuild?
did.
Oh, you did.
You're looking at him.
Oh, okay. Because I figured you'd go to Icon or maybe Stewart Off Road or somebody crazy.
I'm not paying $64,000 for an Icon. No.
64. Try 264.
No, just a basic one, man.
Yeah.
It's just, a Land Rover or a Land Cruiser, which is what they really do specialties in. Man. They're badass. But yeah, I had two of those. I had a 70 and a 71, and the real ones, and those things were bitching. And there's no way I'm paying that much money for one of those.
No,
I'll buy an old one and redo it. So that's what I did with this one.
They are amazing cars, but those companies, it's companies like Icon or like Singer for the old school Porsches. They take these things to such an incredible level, like a hand built. They do every single nut and bolt to a whole different level of precision that it's crazy, but it's almost overkill.
I completely appreciate every single thing that they do. SEMA is my second home. I've been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah,
I've got 23 cars at the house. I love this stuff. My wife's car is a 650 horsepower LS7. So I in a 70 Trans Am. But at the end of the day, it's tough to rationalize a company that, you know, is going to charge you $200,000 for something you're going to go out and take to, you know, good guys and drive the dog doo-doo out of, you know, and then come back and it leaks everywhere. I'd rather have something that's bare bones and just go rip it up. You know, I did El Toro, and at 120 miles an hour, I hit the timing tower. And then I bought a new door, and then I took it out and drove the dog crap out of it. That's what they're for.
Yes, exactly.
You know, and I don't want to do that with a $200,000 car. So.
Yeah, you got to try to enjoy them for sure. Bill, I want to change the subject once again. I want to go back to your career as a wrestler and in the NFL. I want to focus on some positive stuff. Bill, I want to know a moment in your NFL career, and then we'll get to wrestling next. I want to know a moment in your NFL career where you had a conscious moment where you thought, like, man, like, I've really made it, or this is awesome, or I love my fucking life.
In the NFL?
Yeah.
And, you know,
I mean, it could be anywhere from the day you signed.
My first day in the NFL, my first game in the NFL was the America Bowl. And I was very fortunate enough to not get sent home from the America Bowl because I slept through practice the first day because they took me out drinking till 6 o'clock in the morning and then locked me out of my room. But at the end of the day, the coolest moment ever was standing for the national anthem and seeing the Jets fly over in Berlin, even though I'm Jewish, and it was where, you know, like Stalin and Hitler made their speeches.
Stalin's Russian.
Well, all I'm saying is, at that time, my brain was like lobotomized, so I didn't know who the hell was talking. I just took the name off of the back of my jersey and I hid. So at the end of the day, that was.
How can you hide from anyone?
That was. Yeah.
Go ahead. Let him
I was one of the smaller guys on that team. But when those Jets flew over and they were playing the national anthem, and I was in an NFL jersey, man, even though I was an 11th round draft pick, it was the coolest NFL moment of my life. I mean, you know, making plays and stuff like that. That's all cool and fine, but that was by far the coolest.
So you had like a conscious, like, man, this is awesome. You know, I'm in the NFL. I'm making good money. You know, I'm representing my country. And there's
no. I didn't say that. I didn't ever say that I was making good money.
But you had a conscious moment where you enjoyed
the NFL.
Did you have a conscious moment where you enjoyed what you were doing and thought it was awesome?
No question, absolutely. I was a 0.0005% of the guys that tried out for the NFL.
Okay, now let's have the same question with wrestling. Was there a match? Was there an event in professional wrestling? Or, sometimes some guys wrestle at WrestleMania and there's 80,000 people and they look around and they see all those people and they say, man, I can't believe all these people are here to see me. Or maybe an example is when you beat Hogan, to beat an icon like that. Is there a moment you were like, man, this is awesome?
Well, I can't break the story and break the pattern, but it's going to be like every time I've answered this question everywhere else. It has to do with football, but it also was when I beat Hogan. Because at the end of that night, it was in the Georgia Dome in front of 45,000 people. It was advertised 4 days before. And at the end of the night, they handcuffed me to the corner, and out from the curtain come all my teammates from the Falcons. And I was handcuffed in the corner watching all pro football players that I idolized and begged to be on the football field for that, 10 minutes. They were so freaking happy, and they wanted to be me and be in my shoes. It wasn't poetic justice because I wasn't wronged a position, but for me, I was at peace at that moment. It wasn't that I thought that I was the man. It's just that, those dudes wanted to do something that I was doing, and those guys were revered so highly in my esteem, that they were gods to me. And whether it was Chuck Smith or Jamal Anderson or, Cornelius Bennett, man, Jesse Tuggle, they just wanted to be me, man. They wanted to be wrestling. You saw Kevin Green when he wrestled, man. He had a great time.
So
it was fun, man.
Well, it puts a smile on my face to hear you happy about something, or you having a good memory, because I know you take stuff. Sometimes you take stuff so seriously that it makes me happy to know that you took a little bit of time to enjoy some stuff, buddy.
It's good to hear you feeling good about everything,
or at least about something.
You know what? I'm not a curmudgeon like that. But that's that's the problem. That's the problem with holding yourself at such a high standard, man. You're never happy, because if you're happy, you're freaking slowing down. And you know what? The other night, I made a fairly decent return back to the wrestling world. It was a positive in a couple of ways. But you know what? I went to bed, and the next day I got my ass up and I got to training, and I got to eating right, and I got to go into the gym and doing my thing, because that's just one little hurdle, and the next one's coming up quick. So I just got to work, man. You guys know the ethic. You guys can't be professional fighters if you don't have it. And we've got it.
It seems like you
never dies.
It seems like you never have enough time, right? No matter what. Ever. No matter how far ahead you plan your fight, the last week or two, you're like, oh, fuck, I don't have enough time.
Did I do enough? No. God, I never felt like I did enough.
It never changes.
See, but that's the deal with me, is I don't know the time. So, I just got to go. I don't have a set schedule. I just got to go as hard as I can go and use my brain at the same time and try not to get hurt. We haven't even spoken about getting hurt along the way.
Yeah.
I obviously had my knees done, what was it, 3 months ago. That's not, that sucks. I tried to cut my freaking knee off.
Yeah.
What part of your knee did you have work done?
Well, Erik, you can tell him, but I was out in the yard and I was doing some cleanup work with some trees, and I slipped a little bit, and I tried to take my kneecap off of my left knee, and then I drove to the hospital, and they kept me overnight and stitched that up because I had air in the pocket, and then sitting on the couch for 6 weeks watching that thing heal up, I continually had to put 100% of my weight on my right knee, and then blew my meniscus.
Yeah, that's always what happens. You hurt one side, and the other one tries to make up for it. You hurt the other side. So
exactly.
Yeah. Then I see Brock Lesnar at a press conference in New York a couple weeks later, as I get up and walk for the first time, and this stuff transpires. The drama starts. So I got so many things against you guys. It is what it is.
Well, we know you. If anyone can overcome it, we know it's you, Bill.
I got a good stem cell doctor if you need one. That stuff works miracles.
If he's close, absolutely, man. Like I say, King Mo just wants me to go to. It's just it's there's, like you said, man. There's no time to do anything. There's just no time. So we will talk, though, for sure, man.
Definitely.
I'm open to any type of recuperative help humanly possible.
Well,
within the bounds of reason.
I'll come to your house, and I'll be your little recovery guru.
you'll be the recovery fairy.
Yes, I'll get you. I'll be the recovery. I'll teach you to stretch and to breathe and to ice and all the good stuff.
you and Dallas Page.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, dude,
and DDP.
I'm
actually,
sorry, Ian. I didn't mean that, dude. I love Dallas.
Hey, no,
I love Dallas.
We were.
You had him on your show, right?
No. We were talking. I was talking to him last time I was in Atlanta about doing his actual version of his DDP yoga. So I've and he's an awesome guy. I actually need to text him to try to set all that up.
He's a great guy, man. He texted me right when I got off stage the other night, and he's offered up his services. And it's like I said, this is a team effort between you guys and Simon Marcus and Jean Rubin and Josh and CT and the strongest dude in the world, for God's sakes. I mean, it's just it's a fun thing, man. And I'm honored that any one of you would want to be a part of my journey. It's really cool. Like I say, we were in Denver, and Simon had no place to train. And, Uncle Louie, my buddy who does the social media stuff, he gets on the phone and through his UFC contact gets a hold of Ludwig. And I've always idolized Ludwig because of his Muay Thai background. And so for me, it was a great opportunity to, meet him, have him hold pads for me, go to his gym, have Simon train there, get to see, God, who was there? Matt Brown was there, and then Dillashaw was there. It's always good to run into you guys, man. Most of you are great guys. For the most part, everyone I've run into is a terrific guy in your business.
Oh, of course.
Most everybody.
And did you get to work with Lauren Landau and all the coaches over there?
I did not. I did not, unfortunately. I just worked with Dwayne, and then Dwayne held pads, and then I worked over with Simon, and then I was off, man.
Those guys are awesome.
That for me was, it was a sanity check. It kept me from sitting in my room, twiddling my thumbs, thinking about my first, my first appearance back in 12 years. So I was well aware that, it was much more fun than doing that. Getting kicked and punched, man, is always a pleasure, especially from those guys, because I learned through osmosis with them. So it was a great deal.
Bill, we've been on with you for a little while. I know you got workouts to do, but I do have one more question for you before we let you go and enjoy your night and get some rest. We all know that it's been 12 years since you've been involved with WWE, and you don't necessarily have the best record of going back and forth with the McMahons and WWE. I want to know, how was the reaction from the other wrestlers? Was everyone very welcoming and very cool and very nice to see you, and including the staff and everybody at WWE?
I didn't hear your question.
I said, was everybody welcoming and very cool? The staff, everyone happy to see you back? Were the McMahons pleasant? Was everyone happy to see you?
Oh, I'd say that was a true statement. Yes, it was great. It was. You don't know, man, especially with the tumultuous background that we have together.
That's
and
what
you
I
don't
meant.
know with the new generation of guys there, and you don't know who's still there from when you were there, and it was a bad time or a good time. And at the end of the day, the McMahons are there, and they run it. And I gave him a big embrace when we came back in the curtain, because he gave me the opportunity. If it wasn't for him, then I couldn't have done what I did. So the crap's been washed under the bridge. And like I said, man, I'm a different guy, and he gave me the opportunity to do this for my kid. And that's somebody giving you the opportunity to be a superhero. And that alone is a very commendable thing. No matter what the motive, it doesn't matter, because that's what I was able to obtain from it. And like I say, if I get hit by a truck tomorrow, then hey, man, I accomplished a lot, dude.
The poor
that
truck.
poor truck, no doubt, man. As long as I'm not looking at it.
Well, yeah, don't make it ugly. Okay, Bill, we absolutely adore you. We love you, and I just hope that when you get the call, I want to come with you and Wanda and Gage, or meet you there. I just want to be there. Either way,
we'll come out there as a team, me and Apple, and then we'll bring Oldie Han with us, and we'll meet you out there. It'll be a good time.
Man, it's just I'd be honored if you'd even consider watching it, man. So I appreciate it very much, guys. It's been a fun night, and I got to go pound some weights and sling a rope around for a while. So,
okay,
and I don't mean a jump rope, because I don't do that stuff, man. That's for guys that are like 155.
That's for guys my size.
Well, give that wife and kid a hug for me, and thank you so much, Bill Goldberg, for joining us.
Love you, buddy.
You got it, guys. Love you too, man. Thank you very much, and I'm out.
You're the man. Talk soon.
See ya.
Hey guys, this is Eric Apple from American Animals, and if you like our show and you're a real MMA fan, you got to check out Funky Van Askren, Joe Warren, and Sean Wheelock on the Lineup MMA podcast. These guys got some of the biggest name guests in the entire sport of fighting, and they talk about the shit that other fighters are scared to talk about. So check them out on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or lineupmma.com. Well, we are back once again from the Dash Radio studios here in Hollywood, California. This is Two American Animals.
What up, motherfuckers?
Eric Apple hanging out with Ian McCall and Oldie Han, and
Yes.
we have quite a show coming up today. And we have a big guest in Bill Goldberg. We're going to get to him later on. But thanks for hanging out with us here on the Dash Radio Network or the LMG Podcast Network.
Thanks for coming out, guys. It's crazy. It's been such a good week. Last week was a little slow, especially for me being, a little bit sick. And this week I feel a lot better. There's training's going great. We've got big news like coming on the show tonight.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. This is a good week.
Things are going good for us. Yeah, I know last week you said you weren't feeling so good. You had some problems with your stomach or your throat.
Well, I have to go see a GI doctor, but we think that I have Schatzki's ring, or we think I have Schatzki's ring, which is a cyst in your esophagus, and it.
Now, that's not the one that stops girls from getting pregnant?
No, I wish.
That's a NuvaRing.
That's a NuvaRing.
Now, I've actually had a NuvaRing in my throat as well, so I was not sure.
Exactly. You know, we should be.
They don't taste good either.
No,
I just want to tell you
they don't taste good at all. But you know what? I mean, would you want to get pregnant or just swallow semen?
Have you ever ever dated a girl who wore a Nuva ring?
Yes.
Now
well, they end up on the tip of your dick.
No, I'm not going to say who it is, but it's a girl that you do know very well.
I'm sure
that I was with for years. She was on the Nuva ring for a time, and it would fucking come out like every time, just fly out of her pussy.
Yeah. Just shopping.
Yeah, I'd be like, what the fuck? I would just keep going. Like, fuck, whatever.
Whatever. Who cares? I mean, it's birth control, smush control, smush motion, whatever.
Well, sometimes I would just put it in my butt, hoping that would make my sperm not work.
Yeah.
But it didn't quite work that way, unfortunately.
You know what? It happens. It's just one of those things that you just have to take the gamble. You know?
I mean, it sounds like it would work.
Don't be a dummy coming or dummy.
Hey, another thing I want to mention is we are now a part of the BJPenn.com family.
Of course.
So we want to thank BJ and JD and Scott.
Reagan, everybody over there.
All the guys who are taking care of us, bringing us on board with BJPenn.com.
By the way, me and Oldie Han want to take a vacation to Hawaii around the first week of December. Are you going to be there? Because I think we should go to the North Shore. We need to go see Justin. We need to go out to Kauai. We need to go. We need to go on a nice.
You want to do a tour of all the islands? It sounds like you want to go to Big Island, Kauai, and Oahu.
I do. I don't know. I need to figure it out. But we need to. We might bring the kids, or maybe fuck the kids. I don't know. We're just gonna figure it out. But we need a vacation, and I want to time it when you're gonna be there because I want to go. To the
because
North
your fights end in November.
End in November, and then I want to take some time.
That's like 5 weeks away.
Yeah.
Man, it's coming up quick again.
Well, it's a month away from today.
Damn, a month away from your fight.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. How's your and now I want to know. You took a couple weeks off for your emotional and for your physical health.
Yes.
Did it work?
Yeah, it worked.
Do you feel recharged?
Yeah, but see, the thing was, I took the mandatory 2 weeks off from my coaches. Then I got sick for a week, so I felt like shit for a week. Then I was in Texas for a week. Now I'm back. So it's it was a little drawn out. And being sick always sucks. And since I am so prone to infections because I have MRSA culture in my body, and I've had, I ended up the last time I threw up, I ended up in a hospital in Brazil. Like I don't throw up freshly from working out.
What about hangovers or anything?
No.
So are you just some people just don't throw up? Are you one of those people?
Yeah, I either have to be like really, really, really drunk, or something has to be like actually really wrong with me, like me having to go to the hospital. So. I'm a little bit sick. Me actually throwing up, like I was actually sick, so it sucks. But at the same time, it's just how my body is. I've been training so hard all year, and really, just it's been intense. And it sometimes it catches up to you. I take such a good care of myself that I'm fine now. I do have to see a GI, but basically all they have to do is either have to lance off this, if it is the cyst in my esophagus, or they have to put like a ring in there. It's nothing crazy, but it's just certain maintenance that I have to do for my physical health.
Copy that. Yeah, we seems like we forget to take care of our like we think about building our cardio and making ourselves stronger and improving our technique, but we forget like the basic stuff.
Oh man, I have to take. I mean, thank God Onnit is such an amazing sponsor for me because they send me gut health little packets, which is prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes. I mean, a bunch of stuff in there. Then I have my daily vitamins, a morning pack and a night pack. I've got like my Alpha Brain that I take before this show. I got to give you some Alpha Brain, by the way. Shroom Tech Sport for when I'm trying to get better cardio.
We're plugging on it. Can I get hooked up?
Of course, of course.
I mean, Joe did connect me with somebody who sent me some product before.
Okay, so
I'm down to try it.
It's by far the best products nutrition on the market. I mean, there's nothing better, and this is my life. I know, and not only have they been sponsoring me forever, but. They're awesome people, and they have the Physical Onnit Academy in Texas, which I didn't get to go see this year, or this time I was in Texas in Austin, but then again I was busy at ACL and having fun with my friends. Sorry for partying, but it's such a good company, and everything they have in there is so good. It's all. The thing is, all my coaches, my nutritionist, my mental coach, like everybody talks. Everybody's in one group. Like we're a team, so. I get to have the best of everything. I get the best nutrition. All my food is made for me by M120 Meals. I got a 5-star chef cooking all my food. That's another company.
Yep.
You need to start trying.
Yep.
I got a really amazing setup. It's just, as hard as I work and as much as I travel, sometimes you get sick. It's how it is. And like the other day, yesterday, rolling with a bunch of black belts. I'm doing finger quotes, purple belt, but I catch black belts all the time.
The only thing that we need that would make this circle complete is a badass fight facility with high-level guys in South County.
We have one.
Where?
Where? Fight facility? What do you mean?
Well, your gym's not South County. I consider that Central.
It's Irvine. Yeah, that's true. That's South County.
I'm saying like Laguna Niguel,
or I was
Mission Viejo, San Clemente.
I was thinking of building a small gym in San Clemente or San Juan. If I had my own gym, it would be 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, and it would be Oyama kickboxing or Oyama MMA. But yeah, I've put serious thought into it. Right now I'm only coaching at my gym. I don't have time to coach a bunch of people.
What if I already have a name thought of?
What is that?
Orange County Top Team. I can't believe no one's done it.
I know. We definitely could.
Orange County Top Team would be amazing. Now, does somebody own that name, Top Team? Like, are you not allowed to name something Top Team?
I have no idea.
Because obviously there's Brazilian Top Team, and then they spread out to American Top Team.
No, because I have Underground Creepy Top Team.
And nobody ever said anything to you?
No. But then again, it could just be because they know it's a fucking joke.
Orange County Top Team.
I know we can make those shirts, but if we have it as a dual facility with my gym as it is already, if you sign up under this that gym, you can go to this gym, you can go to any 10th Planet. You can go see either my coach Casey Halstead here or Vegas. You can see Eddie Bravo and Scott Epstein up in here in Hollywood and LA. I mean, you can go to 10th Planet anywhere. I'm hopefully going to do a seminar tour in Mexico or Latin America. Wow. I mean, that's, and luckily Oldie Hahn, she speaks fluent Spanish. So.
It's funny too, because I've had people hit me up about doing seminars in Chile and in Bolivia and offer like real money. And I was like,
Ecuador too. Ecuador's where two of my, Chito Vera, Marlon Chito Vera is a teammate of mine. He's from Ecuador. He's there right now with his family. Thank God, poor kid. He's had 3 fights. Me and him on the same team, but he said he had 3 fights canceled in a row on him.
Jeez.
First was the guy got popped for clenbuterol.
Yep. The Chinese dude. And then this poor guy, okay, he flies from China into New York. And you know how it's a huge international airport. Well, he gets stuck there for 10 days. Like the fucking opponent?
Yeah, his opponent again, because he was supposed to fly to Canada. So he got stuck. Some visa issues got him stuck in you cannot leave the airport. You're not allowed to leave the fucking airport for 10 days.
Wait, dude. So it's like that movie with Tom Hanks.
Yeah, is it Terminal? Or what is it called?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, dude, imagine that. And then he's supposed to fly he's supposed to be training for a fight. And then he's supposed to fly to Canada to fight Chito, and so finally they're like, "No, dude, this isn't happening." And then something else happened, and they got.
So wait, somebody from the UFC screwed up his whole fucking passport deal.
Visa thing. I don't know if it was the UFC people. They're so good at it. I doubt it was them. It's probably someone on his end. All you have to do is one thing wrong, like Glover.
Well, no, hold on a second. Coming from China, it's not like you and me going to Canada.
Oh, no,
China going to USA, China. They got some more shit to fill out.
But that's what I'm saying. Who knows? Who knows what got screwed up? There was some fuckery somewhere, and he got screwed. And now they're fighting in Australia. I think the week before me, and they're fighting a week before at 100 at a one weight class above. It's just kind of random. Oh boy! All right. It makes me suspect the guy because you got popped for clenbuterol, which it was you got let go because it was tainted meat in your country, but at the same time now you're not on clenbuterol, but you have to fight at a higher weight. Just kind of. But then again, I'm being a.
You're right.
Well,
who knows? Clenbuterol makes you ripped.
I've never taken Clen,
but I don't know about it making you necessarily lose weight. It makes you more shredded looking. I don't think it necessarily makes you lose weight, does it? I guess it does because it ups your metabolism.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Erik Apple from American Animals, and wow, I was listening to the Ocho Man Behind the 8 Ball podcast the other day, and I realized this might be one of the funniest fucking shows I've ever heard. You've got to check it out. These guys do 2 shows a week on the Lineup Media FM network, and I'm listening to all of them now. You can get them on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or ochoman.com. We are back.
What's up, my friend?
The Ace of Spades. That's just such a classic line.
He's a fucking savage, man.
That guy was pretty badass.
He's just such a badass, and then being that crazy and how he was. Oh, fuck. Being a rock star for what, 50 years? Literally 50 years.
I can't even begin to fathom
Being on meth for 50 years. Is what I'm trying to say, because he's admitted it. He's like, yeah, I would do meth and fucking drink every fucking day.
Oh, really? He says that's why he's always sweating like that, huh?
Yeah, and he looks like that. There's fucking boils and shit.
Oh God! And he used to say that I do meth all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I guess if people do coke long enough, it's like coke's just not doing it for anymore.
They have to.
You got to fucking do a line of speed.
Yeah.
Feel better. Or
I
who knows?
I got
probably
to
smoke it.
party at the foot of his statue. You know, that was good enough for me. I mean, granted, I never got to meet him, but I saw him, you know, at a few different places. But he being able to, you know, be in his hallowed ground of like the Rainbow Room. That fucking guy, man, so rad. So cool. And I get to hang out with his old friends. So that like it just makes you feel so awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's get caught up to date on some current events. You know, last week we talked about McGregor. He wasn't very happy with his fine. We talked about Ronda getting her title fight. So let's talk about this week. This week we had George St. Pierre appear on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani and
the Hebrew Hammer, my boy.
God, Ariel. And
he's always texting me for dirt.
I
so
know.
funny.
So he came out and said that he's a free agent. George St. Pierre said he tried to work out some negotiations with the UFC. It's been 3 years or so since he fought, and he said that they were not able to come to an agreement. Now, he does have an attorney named James Quinn, who is a very, very, very powerful attorney who's dealt with and represented some of the biggest athletes on the planet.
In the world.
And that guy says, well, I gave him a certain amount of days to respond as per the contract. They didn't respond. So we are releasing this contract. Now, the UFC has already, of course, responded and said, no, he's still in a contract. We intend to keep it that way.
I've talked to my agent, Jason House, who is an actual lawyer. He's a contract lawyer, which it's funny because in this stupid sport of MMA, a lot of agents are not lawyers.
They're just fucking random dudes.
And you're like, you're a car salesman. Like, oh, you're a douchebag. Like, no, I don't want you fucking representing me. Get a life, dirtbag. But I asked Jason, because I asked him, I'm gonna have a real agent, like I have.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I'm like, what does this have legs? And he goes, dude, it honestly does.
It does. So
he's a 2012 contract. That's way before this. It was signed under the pretense that Under Armour would be his main sponsor. He could wear it. It's all this different stuff. So he's got something there, And maybe he goes to Bellator like Rory. I don't know.
Well, there's a lot of things to talk about on this. So number one, let's talk about the first thing you said.
Yeah.
Does this thing have legs? And whether it's a 2012 contract or not, I believe it does have legs. Because let me tell you this, the Zuffa contract, and again, we're not trying to bash Zuffa. We're just we're gonna tell it like it is. They treat you very good. Yeah. I fought in WC. Everybody was cool as could be. That's Zuffa owned. But the truth of the matter is, the contracts they want you to sign are archaic at best. I mean, they're indentured servant contracts. Yeah. As far as if you compare them to other professional athletes,
they're pretty fucking backwards.
People from the NHL, the NFL, pro baseball, they look at these contracts and believe me, because I've showed people and they go, "What the fuck is this?" A lot of attorneys I know that have looked at UFC contracts have said straight up, this contract is void because this shit's illegal. You can't. It's not even legal to sign a contract like this, I've been told.
None of it makes sense. Again, my agent, he's got his NFL card, working on MLB. Like this is the deal with serious people here, and the thing is, it is such a backwards contract, and it always has been, and people just deal with it, And I don't know if WME is going to change it, but they're firing up to 15% of the entire. People that work for the UFC. So
to be honest, I don't think that's a very big percentage considering. Thought it could have been more, but so again, just like you said, it's a relatively archaic contract. Yeah. There's things in those contracts like the thing where they own your likeness, not for your lifetime, for eternity.
Yeah.
So even after you die, we can still sell T-shirts and DVDs with you in it, and we don't have to pay your kids.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's pretty fucked up.
Nobody. There's nothing in the world like that in the world of professional sports and contracts. So, but on the other side of this might just be a game. This might be them playing hardball. Going, you're going to pay us more than you offered, or you're going to pay us what Lorenzo originally offered, because now let's go back. George said that him and Lorenzo were close to a deal, and once WME IMG bought Zuffa, they said everything that he said is off the table.
Well, and WME was trying to say that they don't want to have to reintroduce George St. Pierre to the world and pay all this money to show everyone who he is again and make him relevant again. And I was like, what are you talking about? It's George St. Pierre. The guy does movies. He carries a whole country on his back, like of just super avid, smart fans. Great. The Canadian fans are fucking amazing. They fill up Rogers Gardens or Rogers Arena, whatever it is, Rogers Stadium with 60,000 people. I mean, this is a great fighting culture, and everyone knows who GSP is. And they're trying to say that that they have to like create a brand out of him. I think it's complete bullshit.
Well, I mean, let's remember when Jake Shields fought George St. Pierre in Toronto, that is the highest gate ever in North America as far as ticket sales. Yeah. So I don't believe we have to reintroduce George St. Pierre.
That whole thing was silly to me.
I don't believe that for one moment. But again, it might be all part of the game with this James Quinn guy and GSP playing hardball. Okay, well, we're going to call ourselves free agents. Now you have to worry about a signing with someone else.
Yeah.
So that takes me to the next question. Number one, we know they can afford it, but does it make sense for Bellator to pay George what he's worth?
Dude, that's like $10 million.
So look, Viacom has the money.
Yeah.
But would they recoup that investment? How?
Well, see, you have Rory McDonald already over there. I don't see him. You know what? They could play that card. Maybe if Rory and George end up fighting.
They'll never fight.
I said maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't think it.
Remember that Dana had talked about it all the time? And George and Rory said, we will never, ever, ever, ever fight. And if anyone that I believe that won't fight someone, no matter how much money involved, I believe George.
Yeah, that's true. And I would too. But and then exactly. That's a big gamble, man. You're really taking a chance, but I think they could. I think they.
So how would they recoup it? They don't have pay-per-view.
Well, that's their foray into pay-per-view. That is their first big foray into pay-per-view, is having Rory McDonald on the card, the return of George St. Pierre. You have a few other big stars. Put like Bobby Lashley on there, or put whoever you can.
Benson
Henderson. You put Joe Schilling in a kickboxing fight. Have one of those big showdown fights with Glory and that. It's Bellator kickboxing now. They could make a big event out of it, I think, and it could be pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah. Well,
I would watch. I'll watch anyways.
So there's a lot of moving parts. So it's like I said. I mean, it's like, okay, you're a free agent, George. Yeah. Number one, who can afford you? And if they can, even like I said, you can afford it. Is it worth it? Are they going to get their money back? And then number two, who the fuck do you really want to see George St. Pierre fight that's not in the UFC? Ben Askren?
Yeah. And dude,
he already fought Jake Shields.
Hey, and you know what? Ben's a fucking badass.
I'm not even talking about who's going to win. I'm just saying, like, who makes sense? Like, how many fans are going to get fucking? Now, listen, hardcore dudes like Cree on the Underground, fucking the biggest Ben Askren fan in the world. Listen, hardcore people are going to be like, I want to see what happens with George St. Pierre and Ben Askren. Yeah. But let's be real, the average fan ain't going to give a fuck about that fight,
because no one gives a fuck who Ben Askren is. And people get kind of bored.
And it's unfortunate because they should, but they don't.
I like watching Ben Askren wrestle fuck people to death because he's so good at it. He is so fucking good.
Yeah, it's like funny. He's so good, it's funny.
It's incredible. People are like, it's so boring. Bitch, let him take you down and you try and get up before he knocks you unconscious or chokes you out.
It's sad how bad he just fucking rapes people.
Rapes people. And it's crazy. And if people can't appreciate that, then I don't understand. If GSP always did the same thing, later in his career he turned into that. But you could have an amazing match, a very technical fight there. But again, like you said, who really wants to watch it? I don't know.
Huh.
Besides us, we're nerds.
So, it's like I said, there's a lot of moving parts there. So it's like, who can sign him? Who can afford him? Now, where else would he go besides Bellator? World Series of Fighting, I don't think can afford him. He could go to Risen.
How do you now say it?
I think it's Rise.
Okay, and see,
he could go to Rise, or he theoretically could go to ONE FC.
Yeah,
but here's the deal: do they have money? Yes. Are they in all those homes in Asia? Yes. does it make sense? I mean, he's a Canadian guy. I mean, who the fuck in it's like people in North America, it's like he's just going to go away.
Yeah.
It's like, why even bother coming back?
Exactly.
You're going to go fight somewhere no one's going to see it.
Yeah. You're going to fight somewhere where no one cares. And, it's so, yeah, I don't know. That's a really tough call, man.
I mean, what do you think? Is there more to it? Where is Dana playing? I mean, I think there's more to this. I don't think it's that the UFC doesn't want to sign him. I think people are playing games, playing hardball, or there's more of a long-term solution here or a long-term plan here. I mean, one thing that I thought about is this. Now, let's say they change George's contract and they say, okay, you're right. You would have made all this money from Under Armour.
Yeah.
And you're not. So we're going to add this much more into your contract to make up
millions.
For it. So then what?
Yeah.
So then what? So then what? Now all these other fighters are going to go, motherfuckers.
What about me?
I was making an extra $100K on sponsors, not fucking 5,000 from like we're getting from Reebok. I want an extra $100K a fight.
I was making fucking 40 to 50 grand extra.
That's
like my first fight in the UFC, I think made close to 40 to 50, almost closer to 50 grand on fucking sponsors.
Yeah.
Like, and now I'm making 5.
Yeah. So
fuck me running.
So that's what I'm saying. If they make that exception, then all of a sudden we got all these dudes coming out of the woodwork going, hey, motherfucker, I'm cool where I'm from. People like me. They were sponsoring me.
Yeah.
So it's like if you make one exception, it's on. Now, here's the other thing I was thinking about. The UFC, they're not dumb. Those guys know that their contracts are fucking hardcore, crazy, archaic, fucking indentured servant contracts. And if somebody takes them to court or somebody fights them on it and wins, it changes the game all the way around.
Completely.
Now all kinds of fighters are going to go, fuck you, I own my image. I own my likeness. Go fuck yourself. If you want to put me in the game, you got to pay me more money. If you want to put me on shirts, you owe me more money. There's going to be a lot of other things coming down the pipe that could possibly change if somebody challenges them over this contract. And
somebody challenges and wins.
That's what I'm saying. If somebody challenges them, like this James Quinn guy, and takes him to court, and the judge looks at this shit and goes, this contract's fucking illegal. Because I've been told that.
They'll have to change them all.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and it'll be a cascading effect, a snowball effect, however you want to put it. It could really fucking shake things up. And you know what? I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind adding this extra zero because they could put a fucking extra zero on everyone's paychecks, and they would be just fine.
Well, that's the thing.
They'd be still less than probably 40% of their income that they're making.
Well, it's hard too because again, we're not trying to badmouth the UFC.
No, not at all.
Because if it wasn't for the Fertitta brothers and for Dana, this sport, who knows where it would be if it would be anywhere at all.
Yeah.
And their investment, because they spent something like hundreds of millions of dollars in the UFC before they ever turned a profit. So do they deserve to see the fruits of their labors and to see huge profits off that? Yes.
Of course.
But on the other side, you look at most professional sports and the profit is split 50-50 between the owners and the athletes. Boxing is even different. The athletes, the boxers, usually make about 75 to 80% of the profit from big fights, pay-per-views, stuff like that. And the numbers are backwards in the UFC. The UFC is making 80% of the money. The fighters are making 20%.
Yeah, it's completely different, and that's just. But this is how it always goes. We're just like the NFL guys of the '70s, or the '60s, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Before that all changed. So even the boxers from before, it's just a matter of time before it changes.
I think so much has changed in the last year and a half. I think it's been, as we got to get some perps up in here. Yeah. I think so much has changed. I think so much has changed in the last couple of years. And, like him or don't like him, because of the charge from Conor McGregor showing people how much more money they can make. I mean, let's be real. Conor McGregor, he led the charge.
Totally changed the game.
Nate Diaz followed suit. Mm-hmm. So they said, hey, he was making like 20 and 20 or something. And then they said, hey, we need you to come in last minute and fight Conor. He said, fuck, I want $1 million or whatever. I think he got, $2 million, something like that.
Yeah.
And then he got that contract. And then they fought. Nate won. They said, we want you to fight again. He said, I want a new contract again.
No, I said, I want Conor's contract.
Yeah. So he got another contract the second time. So he went up twice. Yeah. Then we got guys like Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold, he was a champion, and everyone knows, look, you make a certain amount of money as champion, and you make a cut of pay-per-view. Yeah. You lose that belt, not only does your base pay drop down, you are no longer getting pay-per-view unless you're someone like Anderson Silva. So now you're not making your pay-per-view, and your base salaries dropped down. And Luke Rockhold held out. He said, I'm Megan Demi Lovato, and I'm modeling. You can pay me more, motherfuckers.
Yeah, exactly. Pay me, bitch. Because, think about it. Why get paid to get punched in the face when you get paid to be pretty? You get to sit around and just look good. I mean, you already showed the world that you're the baddest motherfucker on the planet at your weight. You became world champion. Shit, you lost. But you're still fucking handsome as shit. You're banging one of the most famous celebrities on the planet, and you're living the dream. So why take the chances?
So I think that these are all examples, and Weidman is another one.
Yeah,
Weidman's another guy who was making a lot of money as champion. He was making a cut of pay-per-view. He lost his belt, and it
all goes away.
And you just heard about he was talking about on Ariel Helwani's show the other day. Oh yeah, when I decided to come back, I had to renegotiate with Lorenzo. So there's a lot of people who have relatively new contracts who are renegotiating, which is telling me things are different. Because 5 years ago, if you had a belt and you lost your belt and you said, motherfucker, I don't like my contract, they would say too fucking bad.
Yeah, shut up.
So shit's definitely changed, and they've been a lot more open to negotiating with athletes. So,
hey guys, Erik Apple from American Animals here, and guess what? Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. And you get it right through our website. I'll tell you one example and a great thing I would recommend. I'm a Star Wars fan, and the best thing to do is listen to audiobooks, the Star Wars audiobooks. They're great, and they have awesome sound effects as well. So download your free audiobook today. Go to audibletrial.com/animals. Again, that's audibletrial.com/animals for your free audiobook, or check out our website, www.2americananimals, and that's the number 2americananimals.com.
The best looking guys at Dash Radio and LMG are here.
Bet your ass.
Care what any of you guys think. Dave Navarro, eat your fucking heart out. I'm a fucking sex symbol.
Bah.
Erik Apple, hanging out with Ian McCall here at American Animals. Check us out online, the number 2americananimals.com, at 2AmericanAnimals on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Oh, and I got my new UncleCreepyPodcast.com is up. All my
That's
episodes
That's
are now
right.
up on that, so I'm excited.
All of your that's called your catalog.
My
catalog is available online to download.
No, it's my catalog.
Make sure you check it out, and you can
my portfolio.
Also, there's a link to betdsi.com on there. And
if you like betting, I can usually only afford to gamble with my life. But if you want to gamble with your money, go on there and make some proper bets.
And now, because your site is just now up and running, there must be a code like Animals 10 for you as well.
Yes.
I don't know it. I'm going to guess it's Creepy 10, but we'll let you guys know next episode. We'll tell you what it is for sure. In the meantime, you can use Animals 10. BetDSI will double your initial deposit and add $10 into it. Free money.
Which you got to think, it doubles your initial investment plus $10. So if you put
$300,
you get another $300 in.
Yep. So you'll have 610.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking good, man.
Yeah, that just goes to show that they're a legit company out there that's been in business a long time, and they know that you're going to be with them for a while if you join.
Yeah, exactly.
I won today. I won today on the Dodgers and Cubs. I bet the over. I bet over 7. They scored 12 runs together.
They crushed them. We were watching that while we were eating sushi today. And man, they got their fucking ass kicked.
And I feel like it's such a game of momentum. Did you see?
Totally. Baseball is so like that.
You see that slide at home, and he missed the tag?
Yes.
I'm telling you right now, if that call would have gone the other way, that game could have been totally different. But the Dodgers being 2-2, they got another home game. Kershaw might pitch tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
They could go back to Chicago up 3-2 real easy.
They could.
With Kershaw pitching.
If they pull that shit off, that's a big deal. Because you were telling me that the Cubs are the best team.
By far the best team in baseball. So numbers wise.
And Dodgers, they are.
They won the West.
Yeah.
They beat. They were 3 games up on the Giants. They're legit. Listen, let's get back to some other MMA current events. The other thing that was announced this week is the bad guy, Chael P. Sonnen,
the motherfucking gangster of Oregon.
Fucking coming straight out of the mean streets of West Lynn, Oregon.
Is it Gresham, Oregon?
He's going to be taking on the Huntington Beach bad bitch. Boy.
The big head.
Tito Ortiz, who is 1-6-1 in his last 8 fights, I believe.
1-6-1?
Yeah.
Fuck, I totally forgot. Every time I think of Tito, I got to go fishing because he invited us fishing last time. I fucking missed out on bump.
He ain't taking me fishing.
Well, he fucking doesn't like you. So
We won't get into it.
Yeah, someone that's apparently not supposed to have sex with people's ex-wives. But you know what?
No,
happens.
they were together. They were
Oh,
together.
fucking asshole.
Wait, nobody said that. No, wait, nobody had sex. I don't even want to talk about it because it's a sore subject.
Yes,
I
anyway.
actually, now that I'm a little bit older, more mature, I kind of feel bad. Like that was.
You were being a dick, and you were being.
I feel bad. Tito I don't like him, but he never did anything to me personally, so I shouldn't be a dick. And you know what? Honestly, I'll say this: the dude always comes off as a good coach and as a good dad.
Yeah, very true.
I think he's a douchebag otherwise, but he comes off as a good coach and a good dad.
No matter what, those are two amazing things.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So and yeah, exactly. And he's from Huntington, so that's a big fucking mark, big black mark on anyone's name. Is Huntington
Strike
Beach.
one, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk about it. So Chael Sonnen and Tito, man, that's gonna be a pretty interesting matchup, don't you think?
Man, I gotta go Tito on that one. To be honest,
Really?
I just feel it. He's the bigger man.
He is bigger. He's got a bigger head.
He's got a bigger head for sure. I think he's probably got at least 6 inches of headspace over Chael. But I don't know. I'm feeling Tito on this one.
So okay, so I mean, I'm not this now. This is me just being honest questions.
But Chael could pull anything off because it's Chael Sonnen.
So first of all, Tito's 1-6 in his last 7 fights.
Yes,
The only fight he won was against Bader,
exactly.
which, it can be said that he got a relatively lucky punch. It was super awkward, weird punch that he dropped Bader with and then sunk the
choked him
choke.
out, yeah,
Other than that, he'd been getting smoked.
it's true.
He got smoked by was it Liam McGrary in Bellator?
That upside down.
He got smoked by Rashad Evans. He got smoked by Minotauro. I mean, he hasn't looked great in his fights.
No, that's why I'm just for some reason I'm feeling it. But he's had so many fucking surgeries and he's so banged up.
And he has a cracked skull.
Yeah, they're both old. I mean, realistically, it's Bellator. Who gives a shit?
No. Honestly, I'm gonna this fight's on January 21st. It's gonna be at the Forum here in Los Angeles. I want to go.
We'll be there for sure.
I want to go.
Well, let's text Rich, the matchmaker, my old roommate, and we'll go get some ringside seats and we'll have some fun.
No, I'm all about it. I'm all about going. I want to go 100%. I mean, honestly, listen, as much I can make fun of Tito
and
all I want.
We got to have as many people from that show on our show as possible.
But listen, I can make fun of Tito all I want. But Tito, at the end of the day, he's an icon in the sport. He's a draw. And, people are interested in seeing him, whether they want to see him win or lose, So he's doing something right.
Yeah. I mean, he's been relevant in this sport for 20 years.
Pretty long time.
That's a big deal. And with the coaching staff like he has, all the guys at Ruka, he's got Jason Perillo as his boxing coach. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's still doing it right. He's still working his ass off. So it's good for him.
I want to know now. Let's see. Chael has had some legit fights recently and some legit wins. It's not like he's not 1-6 in his last 7 fights. I'll tell you that right now.
Who? I'm trying to think. Who's he? Where's his last
he beat Shogun not too long ago.
Yeah. His last 5 fights. So he lost to Jones. He lost to Anderson. I'm trying to think of who else his last few fights are. I don't know.
Well, now let's be honest. He went up in weight to fight John Jones.
Yeah.
And he sold the fight, but that wasn't a fight that anybody really expected him to dominate or to win.
Of course.
But let's see. His last fight was against Shogun, Mauricio Hua. He won that by guillotine. He won that in the first round. That's impressive. Before that, he lost to John Jones. He lost to Anderson Silva.
No, he lost to Rashad, then Shogun, then Jones, Anderson. So he's 2-3 in his last 5 fights.
He beat Bisping before that. He beat Brian Stan before that. He beat Nate Marquardt.
He did beat the current champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
So beat
the shit out of Bisping.
No, that was a close fight. I remember it was a close fight.
I thought he roughed him up. No,
it was a close fight. So
either way,
let's just say this. He's had tough competition and he's had relative success. So that to me, and here's the thing, Tito wins fights with wrestling.
Yeah,
you think he's going to out wrestle Chael even if he's bigger?
No, but that's where I think he's going to have the boxing advantage. I think he's a better boxer than Chael is.
Okay, but here's the thing,
and he's a bigger man, so I think Chael's going to have a hard time taking him down. Tito probably won't take him down, but Chael's going to have a hard time taking him down.
I don't see, but Tito's not the kind of guy to hurt people on the feet. Like,
no?
Is he a better boxer than Chael? Maybe.
Yeah.
But is he good enough to hurt him or drop him? Maybe. I mean, Perillo's magical.
Yeah.
But
true.
but Tito's not been the guy to drop people before on his feet.
It's true.
I mean, no one's been afraid to box with Tito.
Yeah.
Let's just be real.
Yeah. He hits you really hard on the ground, but
Yes.
he's not the hardest hitter on the feet.
Yeah, and that's I had this conversation with somebody the other day, and it's funny. I think, and I want to know if you agree with this. Do you think somebody can take a kid or an adult, doesn't matter, and if you spend enough time with that person, if you put them in the wrestling room every day or in the jiu-jitsu room every day, I think if they spend enough hours, they will eventually get good at grappling or wrestling. Do you agree?
Yeah, of course.
But it's not the same with boxing.
No.
Some people, they can box all their lives, and they're not going to ever be the dude to stand in the pocket and trade and bob and weave. And
Slingshots.
they're just not going to do it. It's either you're born with that shit or you're not.
Yeah. And,
I mean, Justin Levin's an example.
Yeah.
Justin was born with fucking stand there and fucking get hit and give shots.
Exactly. Dynamite in his hands and fucking wanting to get punched in the face.
Even before he knew what he was doing,
Yeah.
he fucking could take it and give it.
Yeah.
But there's some people who train all their life and they're just like, dude, they just don't look there. They don't look like they want to be there.
Yeah. And that's
How I feel about Tito.
Oh yeah, of course. Even we got a guy like Brock Lesnar. He doesn't like getting fucking punched.
I don't think Brock Lesnar's worked on boxing very, very much in his life. Let's be honest. I don't think Brock's really spent that much time on a stand-up over the years.
Of course. But Tito is that perfect example where he's worked for so long at being at knowing how to box or kickbox, and some people don't like getting punched. Getting punched isn't for everybody. But at the same time, he's still been getting punched in the face for 20 years. So that says something. He might not like it, but he's still fucking doing okay.
Yeah, for sure. Another thing that came up this week is the Korean Zombie's back.
Calling out BJ.
Which is so weird to me because they're both Korean.
Yeah, I don't.
Who wants to see some yellow on yellow crime? I don't know if I want to see it.
Speaking the English versus a guy that is just arguably the best pound for pound person to ever step into it's just gonna be fucking. I don't know. That didn't. I was confused by that option, by the whole setup, and but it's a fight I wouldn't mind watching. I think BJ would fucking throttle him.
Yeah,
I think BJ would throttle him, and it would be very entertaining.
Because I feel like the Korean Zombie, he is a good grappler and stuff. Don't get me wrong, but I think a lot of his wins have come from being tough.
Yeah,
and BJ will just be, oh cool, you want to be tough? I'll just keep beating the fuck out of you.
Exactly, and that's it. Just comes down to the Korean Zombie being so tough that people get tired, beating him up like the Homer Simpson. They beat the shit out of him. They tire themselves out, and then he comes and beats him. Yeah, and that's why they call him the Zombie. And he is tricky. I mean, he hit a twister.
Yeah,
he's a good grappler. But guess what? BJ is a world class grappler. I've had that man on top of me and below me. I've grappled with him. He's fucking incredible. And I'm no fucking slouch. BJ is a different level of black belt. And I'm pretty damn proud of myself to being able to take him down.
Survive.
And survive on the
Just
ground.
hang in there.
But dude, you feel that man on top of you, it's a different level of shit, and it sucks. So I think I would like to watch that fight.
I think BJ should jump on that one and go, sure.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so
challenge accepted. Where do I sign?
Yeah. Because I think that could be a catalyst for just showing how good BJ really is.
I think it's a good comeback fight for him.
It could show him, it could make him shine. It could show him that he does have some cardio too, that he does have the willpower to last in there longer because he's hurting somebody for 15 minutes. I think he could put him away a lot quicker than that, but let's say he doesn't. He's got 15 minutes to pound this dude out, so it would be
or
cool.
25.
Or 25, yeah, it depends.
Okay, so some other things, some smaller news. Uriah Faber is going to fight in his hometown in Sacramento against Brad Pickett. It's kind of a weird. That caught me off guard.
Brad's fight. I thought Brad was going to retire after. Did you see his last fight? No, I fought Brad.
No.
Obviously in Dublin the last time I was in Ireland. And Brad's a tough motherfucker. Granted, he barely hit me, but I picked him apart. But he fought Lurie Alcantara in a couple weeks ago, and that was one of the most impressive versions of mixed martial arts that I've ever seen. It was a hook set up to a dipping, spinning back elbow, which caught Brad perfect. Just get him on the Bambi legs, and then takedown into a mounted triangle, into a rolled over into a triangle arm bar, into something else. I mean, it was so beautiful. And then all this, I'm like, Brad, you got rocked bad. Why? I mean, how soon is that fight? That's a real quick turnaround. Because Uriah is no slouch. As much shit as I talk on Alpha Male and Uriah, he's a fucking stud.
No, I love Uriah. I don't know if you know this. I commentated Uriah's very first fight. It was against Russ Mura.
Yeah.
And I remember I was commentating.
I didn't know that was his first fight.
Yeah, that was his first fight, dude. And I remember seeing Uriah. Maybe it was a second. Maybe I take it back. It might have been a second. And I remember Uriah coming out. And I remember looking at him. And I probably said this on the King of the Cage pay-per-view.
Most likely.
And I was just like, we knew Russ was tough, right?
Yeah.
So we grew up around Russ. I knew Russ had legit skills, and he was tough. He was
a fucking legit. Well, at that time was probably a brown belt and a college D1 wrestler.
So he was good, and tough.
Yeah.
And then you see Uriah coming out, bouncing around, his fucking hair shagging in his face,
butt chin,
fucking throwing fucking shakas, and I'm just like, oh, this poor boy, he's gonna fucking get killed. And I was legit scared for him. And little did I know, Uriah came out just fucking like a Tasmanian devil. And I remember I was impressed. This fight's in December, by the way. I was impressed because Uriah in that fight was in the middle of a scramble on the ground, and he threw a spinning back fist from his knees. And I remember going, this dude's a fucking animal. Who does that? Like, he literally was like trying to fight for position, and on his knees spun around. I was like, holy shit, who does that?
Creative.
Fucking wrong with that guy. Get him out of here. So that's my Uriah Faber story. It was a crack up.
That's going to be a tough one, man. I think Uriah's going to walk away with that one real quick, because
I think so too.
Uriah had a tough time with Lurie, the same guy but Uriah did beat him. I mean, I think Uriah fought a much. See, Lurie Alcantara is a guy that just doesn't seem to perform all the time that well. But when he does perform, he puts on some of the most beautiful, seamless MMA techniques I've ever seen.
He's hit and miss, huh?
Oh, dude, he's very, very hit and miss. And that's what happened when he fought Uriah. He looked like shit. Maybe he just got scared or not. I wouldn't say scared of Uriah, but, the pressure, all that type of shit. So granted, Uriah is aging. Uriah just got his ass kicked by, what's his name? Was it Frankie Inez? I can't remember.
Frankie Edgar.
No.
He's fought since then, though.
No. The last person that Uriah fought out in Cleveland, Uriah got his ass kicked.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
He got fucked
kid
up.
landed all those kicks.
Yeah.
It's so funny that certain people, I think we talked about this before, Nick and Nate, and even Gilbert Melendez to some extent, he's not quite as bad, but there's some people, it's like they just you just never come around to learning how to deal with kicks.
Yeah, getting leg kicked and body kicked and kicked in the arms.
I mean, Gilbert is an example. I mean, he trains with Wooden, man. He trains with legit Muay Thai guys. And some people are just, their mind just never clicks to like checking kicks. Remember he got kicked so much by Benson Henderson and then by Anthony Pettis? Yeah. It's just so frustrating. And then in this last fight, he fought the Brazilian.
Yeah, Oliveira.
And it was so frustrating.
Yeah, how do you not know how to check kicks?
Well, it's not that he doesn't know how to check kicks. It's that he doesn't half the time or a third of the time, and it's just not enough because Gilbert's worked on it. Gilbert's a well-rounded fighter. We're not trying to bash Gilbert.
He's a friend of ours.
I love Gilbert, but it just seems like he just never quite clicked on it. It's frustrating because I want to see him win fights, and there's some fights it's just like, man, when that Benson Henderson fight was a split decision, it's like, man, if you would have checked a couple of those kicks, you would have won that fight.
And he was kicking him hard in the calf, the low kick. He was doing a lot of stuff. People don't really understand the effectiveness of kicking. And granted, coming from a guy with one arm, my right arm doesn't work so well. And I also have huge legs and ass, so I kick really hard. And I come from a very strict Muay Thai background, a very strict Muay Thai gym with some of the best Muay Thai kickboxers in the U.S. So kicking is such a big part of my game. I love doing it, and I mean, I think I have the record for tied for third for most leg kicks ever landed in a UFC fight. I think behind like Donald Cerrone and I think it was Oliveira or somebody like that. I mean, I fucking chopped the shit out of Iliard Santos down in Brazil.
Okay. So another matchup, we're moving on for 207. UFC 207 has been announced. These aren't the biggest names, but this fight, I think this will be an exciting fight. Matt Brown and Tarek Saffiedine.
Speaking of a kickboxing fight, that'll be exciting. Tarek's out of AKA, Matt's out of Colorado, and Man, I really like that fight. Goddamn.
They're not the biggest names, but those dudes are both guys who were close to being number one contenders at one time.
Well, exactly, and they're both. That's going to be a really impressive kickboxing fight. Now, I think Matt definitely has the edge on the ground. Can he get it there? I'm not sure.
I mean, dude, Tarek has great takedown defense.
Yeah,
Remember his
exactly.
fight against Nate Marquardt and all those guys? I mean,
he tortured Nate with the leg kicks.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, he's not going to be able to out kickbox Matt like he did Nate. I mean, I guess he could, but I don't see that happening. I think Matt's got just as high of a level of kickboxing as Tarek does. So that could be a really entertaining stand-up battle.
This is Erik Apple from American Animals, and if you're a real MMA fan, you know all about the UG, that's the underground, and mixedmartialarts.com. I'm on there every day, and so should you be. I'll tell you what, they do a podcast on Lineup Media FM every week, and it's hands down one of the best MMA podcasts out there. They get huge guests, and they do an incredible job getting access to every part of the sport. Check out the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and ugpodcast.com.
Well, Ian, we are back, and we are just about done with this week. And, man, things went really good tonight. I had a great time listening to Bill.
It's such a good thing to hear. For one, Bill being so fucking happy and not grumpy, but just his motivation behind this. His kid, trying to just be a superhero, just to help out, and I can see into that so deep, and I like have such an appreciation for it. Because you know how proud I am of being a dad. So it's incredible, and to be able to be that superhero for your kid. His kid's at that age where, and his fucking dad is Bill Goldberg.
It's pretty crazy.
It's fucking awesome, and he's able to finally show this, because his kid wasn't even alive when he was wrestling.
Yeah.
So it's like that whole thing, the whole journey of it is beautiful.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Speaking of pretty crazy, we got some pretty crazy stuff going on in the world these days, internationally. Now,
Insane.
We're not going to touch on U.S. We're not going to touch on politics with Trump and Hillary because it's just too polarizing. So, but we have some crazy stuff going on in the world. Number one, the U.S. and our allies are really close to locking in and completely clearing ISIS out of Mosul, which is a big deal in the country of Iraq. That's
huge.
That's their stronghold over there.
Yeah.
And we believe that we are close to homing in on where al-Baghdadi, who is the highest ranking member of ISIS.
He's the current leader.
Yeah, so we're supposed to be pretty close to getting him or finding where he's at.
And if we could kill that motherfucker, another cockroach is just going to pop up. But at the same time, it's another bad guy dead.
Yeah, so I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, obviously you want to cut the head off the snake, but do you think it really matters? I don't know if it's going to change it.
We need to kill them one by one. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not about, at this point, it's not about religion, or it's not about race or color or creed or anything. It's about being a cunt. And those people need to die. They're hurting a lot of other people for fucking stupid reasons, and they're not even following the proper text of their religion. I mean, I have Muslim friends. I've researched, the Prophet Muhammad before. Yep. Like, just because of all this stuff. I'm an educated person. I grew up in a Catholic school. I mean, like, I've gone out of my way to look this up and talk to my friends who are Muslim. I have really good friends. I've traveled the world with my good Muslim friends. And these fucking guys are just assholes. That's all it is. They're just bad people, and they need to die. So we can clear them out, and then we can still have a good. Those places, those countries have beautiful. They're part of the earth. They're amazing.
Yeah.
They still have amazing things to offer. So we just got to get rid of the shitbags, and we'll be okay.
So another thing that happened this week is the United States, have supposedly detected a failed North Korean missile launch.
At us?
No, not necessarily at us.
Oh.
Another test. But we know that North Korea has tested now, I believe, 3 nuclear warheads.
Well, weren't they underground, though, or something?
Yeah, that's how people test them.
Yeah.
For the last, I believe, 25, 30 years, nobody's been allowed to test. I'm sorry, not 25, 30. I think 10, 15 years. No one's been allowed to test nuclear warheads above ground or above water.
There's been fucking nuclear tests in the last 2 decades?
Yeah. I mean,
holy
I
shit.
think 10 years ago or so, the crazy. French, led by President Chirac, they were setting off nuclear warheads underwater in French Polynesia, and I remember the Tahitians on them had huge problems with it.
It's fucking crazy. That is insane.
Yeah.
Like
It's
really?
crazy.
You know?
Did you, one good thing for our listeners to check out, and you can check this out too, Ian, is there's documentaries about the atomic bombs and nuclear bombs, because they're different, because one's hydrogen and one's plutonium, that we tested and the USSR tested in the 60s and 70s. Now, the biggest one, I'll look it up right now while we're talking about this. The biggest one was called the Tsar bomb. Do you ever hear about this?
No, I have not. Strangely, I have not.
So the biggest one that the Russians ever tested, the biggest one ever tested was called the Tsar bomb, and it was detonated on October 30th, 1991.
The Tsar means king in Russian, right?
Yeah, basically Tsar is like a king or emperor. So the Tsar bomb.
What year was this?
This is 1961, I think I just said. The Tsar bomb set off a mushroom cloud that went 35 miles high. The fucking mushroom cloud almost went to space. It was a 60,000-pound bomb. It was 50 megatons.
How big was the one that was dropped on Nagasaki or Hiroshima?
Not even 1 megaton, I don't believe. Not even one. It was something like 200 times stronger than Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And then it was fat man and little boy with those two bombs.
Yeah.
Just so you understand the impact of the Tsar bomb, the shockwave circled the globe multiple times. So imagine a ripple going down in a circle, going back around the Earth and coming around a second time. It changed the Earth's orbit.
Jesus Christ.
Legit changed the Earth's orbit. And at that point, they said, okay, that's
too much.
That's enough. Yeah. And they tested this above ground. They dropped this bomb in northern Siberia.
Wonderful.
Like, probably only a few thousand miles or maybe less from Alaska. And you can just imagine.
God, that's insane.
Been like.
Yeah, what happened to the pilots? What happened to the whole?
Yeah, so all the pilots, the people who dropped this, they were flying at something like some crazy altitude, 50,000 feet, 60,000 feet for back then was really high. And they were all told, like, don't expect to survive. They did. They dropped the bomb. To survive? Yeah, they were told that you're sacrificing yourself to test this bomb. But they were high enough and they were going fast enough. They got far enough away that they survived.
That's crazy.
The plane did not go down. Can you imagine?
Hey, guess what? You're gonna go drop this giant bomb for no reason, and then you might die. You're not gonna make it back, buddy. So good luck.
Pretty crazy.
We salute you.
Nagasaki was not even 1 megaton. The Tsar bomb was 1,570 times the combined energy of both Hiroshima and Nagasaki put together.
Jesus Christ, that is wild.
I told you.
Wow. That just shows how stupid we are.
I'm pretty sure the Koreans weren't testing anything near that size. Thank God. Thank God.
He's just got a little pea shooter over there. They don't seem like the smartest people on the planet.
Well, the problem is that I don't think he's afraid of anything. That's a scary thing. So another thing we have going on in the world today, the president of the Philippines. Have you ever really watched much about these guys in the Philippines?
Yes, Duarte.
He is going after drug lords.
Says he's personally killed like 90 people or something. He's a fucking president, and he says he's killed over like 87 people or something.
This dude is awesome.
Dude, he's out there offing drug dealers or drug users or anyone associated with drugs in crazy numbers. He compared himself to Hitler. He says, you know what? Hitler killed over 2 million Jews or whatever the number was. Before we get anybody calling freaking out.
Supposedly, the number is approximately 6 million. But it's been taken way back because they said that Auschwitz, they killed something like 1 instead of 4. So
no, Duarte got his numbers wrong. So he didn't. He said the number was like 2. He goes, and my country has over 2 million drug users. He goes, I'm gonna kill them all. You're like, what the fuck, dude?
Pretty crazy.
You're insane.
Pretty crazy.
And Manny Pacquiao's backing him, of course, and those. Oh man, all this crazy stuff. And these people are nuts.
Well, you have to understand the Philippines is a very, very strong Catholic country. Listen. Do I agree with saying you want to kill everyone on drugs? No. Do I think there's something wrong with Manny Pacquiao speaking out against drugs or speaking out against homosexuals? Like when he said, like, the Bible doesn't preach that. I thought it was so terrible. Again, do I necessarily agree with everything he's saying? No. But I think it's so terrible that in this day and age, we can say anything we fucking want, but don't say anything conservative because then everyone's going to hate you. Look, Manny Pacquiao is a married family man. He's a fucking legend. Yeah. If he fucking wants to have a Christian, a conservative point of view, you don't have to agree with him. No. I can't believe people want to fight him on it. It's terrible.
Yeah, exactly. People should be allowed to have any opinion, but he's not out there saying everything in this bad way, in this malicious, like super mean way. He's just stating his personal opinion. It's not. It was, and believe me, like you said, we don't agree with it, but Jesus Christ, you can, you can act this certain way whenever way you as crazy and over the top as you want, and he can't say one thing.
I can tell you, I feel like I'm a girl tomorrow, and you have to make me a special bathroom because I'm asexual, and you have to call me she or call me whatever the fuck anything I make up. But if I dare say that I'm Christian and I have those values, man, I'm a scumbag, and I'm a bigot, and I'm a racist, I'm a sexist, what the fuck is a xenophobe? I don't even know what that is. People say you're xenophobic. Yeah, what does that even mean?
You're gay.
I don't fucking know. Who cares? Listen, there's all kinds of crazy shit going on in the world, but guess what? Story time with Uncle Creepy and American Animals. We're gonna be here for you.
Yes, we're always gonna be here. We're not gonna leave you.
We're gonna talk you through it. We're gonna keep you somewhat sane. We'll make you a little bit more insane, but we'll keep you for the most part sane.
Follow my advice and don't die.
Hey, Monk, do as I say, not as I do.
Yes.
We had a great night this week. Great night. Bill Goldberg on the show.
Which was amazing. That was a good night.
We hope everyone on Dash and on our podcast love it. Thank you to BetDSI. Thank you to BJPenn.com. That's it. Fucking out of here.
Shoots!
This podcast was a presentation of LightUpMedia.fm.